This episode of the Breakthrough Success Podcast is brought to you by Jobber. Jobber is your business's command center. The easy-to-use app powers your sales, operations, and customer service all in one place. Go check them out at getjobber.com/breakthrough to receive 20% off your first 6 months. A lot of us want to unleash our full potential. We want to achieve success on our terms. We want to grow and we want to see the progress. And that's probably why you're tuned into this episode of Breakthrough Success, in which I thank you so much for joining us. And we have a guest who's joining us today who is the host of Creating a Brand, which is a top 20 entrepreneurship podcast. He interviews successful leaders and experts on topics that matter to entrepreneurs who want to grow faster, both personally and professionally, while saving time and money in the process. So our guest is none other than Alex Sanfilippo. Alex, welcome to the show.
Mark, thank you so much. Great intro, man. I love it. Excited to be here with you today.
I'm excited to have you here on Breakthrough Success. I'm excited you chose us for this episode, whether you are exercising or you are walking around or quarantined or wherever the situation is. Thank you for choosing us. And when it comes to unleashing your full potential, there's a lot that goes into that. So I'm wondering first if we could really define that. Like, how do we define what our full potential looks like?
Yeah, so it's a great question and good place to start. Actually, a lot of people, Mark, don't even think about starting in that place, but that's the right place to start. It really comes to each of us as individuals, because my full potential isn't your full potential. Happen to know like a lot about you, Mark, and how great you are at content creation, emails. That's not my full potential. You can take that a lot further than I'm ever going to be able to. You're pro at that type of thing. So it's a matter of defining what it looks like for each of us. And the way that you do that, you begin this whole process by taking inventory. If you really want to find out what your full potential is, you sit back, you take inventory, you reflect on your life, you figure out who you are naturally, what you're capable of, and that's the spot to begin to even understand what having a full potential means.
And it's important that Alex says we have different versions of potential. I think too many people, they'll hear about this person who made 6 figures doing this, and they think, that's my path to 6 figures because that was this person's path to 6 figures. But you have to figure out what is your true potential. What are the things you are good at? And then being able to tap into that full potential. I know a big part of tapping into our full potential, being able to unleash it, is just the little things like routines and habits. So yes. I'm wondering if you share this, how do we get those routines throughout the day so that we stay moving?
Yeah, first off, I'm going to touch on something you just mentioned there, that it's not the same for everybody. Again, I knew this guy, it was a friend to a friend, and he decided that his path to success, unleashing his full potential, was going to be a professional golfer. And he did everything in his power to become the best golfer he ever could. And he never made it anywhere, which was so disappointing to see for him and for everyone else. But the truth is, he just wasn't a natural athlete. It was proof that he needed to be focused somewhere else. And I think that many of us, we get caught up in looking at other people's success in this world, and we decide, oh, that's the route I want to go, and this is the route I want to go. But really, if we would just sit back and reflect internally and say, you know what am I naturally good at? What kind of habits can I build around my day? What comes natural to me that I can carve out my own success, my own potential with? So just want to touch on that real quick. But yes, it does come down to those daily habits. It's what you do every single day that makes the difference. And for each of us, that, again, is going to be different. Like, what you're capable of is not what I'm capable of. And the things I'm going to do every day are not what you're going to do every day. But I think a lot of people assume that success, like, it's funny. If you sit in a room with a billionaire, someone is going to ask the billionaire this question: what's your morning routine? And I recently heard one said, man, will everyone please shut up about the morning routine? It was like, it caught everyone off guard. He's like, that doesn't matter. It's your daily habits. He's like, I don't care what you do in the morning. He's like, what you do every single day that matters. And that's where it's at, man. That really is where it's at.
And it's interesting how you mentioned, like the professional golf, for example, where it just taps into, you want to make sure you're moving in the right direction, because there are people who maybe that like being a successful author, which is something I do talk about on my YouTube channel, but being a successful author, you want that goal. And then you feel like you're not achieving results fast enough. And you hear about this person who made like 6 figures with training courses. And you're like, oh, I have to head in that direction and give up on the books because I see this person. So it's important to really think of it from that perspective, and then just being able to develop routines that complement what it is that you are supposed to be doing rather than what someone else is doing.
Yeah. And there are some habits that all of us, I think, need to develop, especially now. You mentioned some of us being quarantined right now and things like that, myself included. I'm like in my home office. I'm just in my extra room. I'm like looking out the window, watching people walk around who are supposed to be quarantined, but here we are. But I'm thinking about like daily habits that right now people are failing on, that we don't need to be. I've talked to so many people right now because we're all connected online or over the phone, text, whatever it may be. And man, so many people that I know are saying, oh man, I've been binge watching this. And like, man, I've like tapped Netflix out at this point. I don't know if there's anything left on it. I'm like, hold on a minute. Like if that, your dream is to at some point be self-employed and to work for yourself, which means you'll be at home. It might as well be quarantine at times. Mark, you know that. Like sometimes it feels like quarantine when you're really on a sprint or something like that. And if what you're doing right now, when you're forced into that, when someone's telling you have to be there, is wasting your time watching TV, scrolling through social media all day and doing nothing productive, that is not the right type of habit to build. And to me, it says, you know what, you're not serious about unleashing your full potential. You're just going through the motions of life and like, oh, I'm quarantined. This is an opportunity right now that we're in that people can really seize if they're serious about unleashing their full potential. And there's some daily habits that really you can start building right now while you're in quarantine.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting how we mentioned the quarantine in relation to habits, because the quarantine, I also see it as a great opportunity. It's a time where you can really test new habits, change your cues, and change things up. So I do daily YouTube videos now because of the quarantine, because I have the extra time, 5 podcast episodes a week just on this show. So instead of content binging, I'm content creation binging, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's the type of mindset you need to have. And I feel like you could attest to this because you were mentioning the person outside just looking out. I feel like there are far more people now going out for walks,
yes,
biking, running. And it's interesting, like you could look at this and, just dismiss it like, oh, wow, like this is like, but there's something important there because the circumstances and environment changed. And now you've got people embracing a new habit that they never would have done in the normal circumstances. So like these episodes stay up forever. So like when this gets published, the quarantine's like still going to be either a thing or very recent, but a few years down the line, obviously there's not going to be quarantine. So how can we make those like monumental changes without having to be on a whole government like nationwide shutdown?
Right. Yeah, I'll share 4 things, and I've shared this with my community privately as well. I'm just going to share 4 things that I think that really help set the bar as far as the right habits to build on a daily basis. The first of which is to prioritize your physical health. And again, we're talking about people walking around outside, biking, running, all those things that they haven't done in years. And I can tell, I can look at some of them right now. I can tell they haven't been outside like that in years, but they're doing it right now and they're prioritizing that physical health. Here's the thing, especially when you're quarantined or if you're in a startup, let's say you just went to self-employed from home. You are going to run out of juice if you don't take care of yourself physically. You will not be able to create. You will run out of ideas. It's really going to harm you in the long run. And someone who really said this that I think really shocked a lot of people was Elon Musk. Someone asked him what his secret to all of his success was. He said, my physical health. It's like I work out every single day. He goes, I owe all of my success to that. And it was in an interview. People were like, whoa, what? But it's true. It does something inside of you. It releases all of the right stuff in your brain, your mind. I'm not a scientist or doctor, so I'm not going to get into all that. But it does something in your mind and your body that allows you to be more creative, more energized, more just relevant or prevalent in your life. You're actually there. You're like, here I am. I can actually add some value. So that's the first thing that I'd say is the daily habit you have to build. Take care of yourself every day. And I'm not saying go sign up for a CrossFit gym or do something crazy like bodybuilding. Just get out there. If all you can do is a walk, take a 30-minute walk and clear your mind. You'd be surprised what you'd get during that time. And so that's number 1 that I wanted to share there. I got a few more, Mark, if you want me to keep on running through these things.
Keep going. We love this.
Yeah. Number 2, and this is the tough one right now, is to stick to a schedule. Stick to a meaningful schedule. Every single day, just because you don't have to get up and go somewhere, you don't have to get up and brush your teeth either, but you're still going to do it. At least I hope you are, You're going to get up, you're still going to brush your teeth, you're still going to get ready like you would go to work. And that's what you should be doing still, is having a meaningful schedule. Now, whether that you're listening to this when the quarantine's going on or not, it's so important that you live intentionally. So for me, the way that I do this is every single day on my calendar, I have the same stuff blocked out. Monday through Friday is the same for me because my schedule's fixed. If yours isn't, you have to find a way to get it as, as standardized as possible. You know, you might not be able to do it 100%, but really having that meaningful schedule for the things that really matter most to you, that you say, these are the things that I value, these are the things that matter in my life, having those on your schedule every single day, so important. So stick to that meaningful schedule, even when it takes some extra self-discipline. Like right now, it takes a lot of discipline for me to still wake up at 5:30 in the morning, because I'm like, I don't necessarily have to get up, right? But saying, you know what, no, I want to live my optimal life. I want to live life at the fullest. I'm going to get up. I'm going to do the things I know I'm supposed to do to live at that level. So that's my second thing there, is to have that meaningful schedule. It's so important. And Marc, I'm sure that you have a schedule that you have to follow. When a content creator at your level, you have to, right?
Yeah. I mean, for these interviews, like it's great with podcast interviews, and it's like I do 3 podcasts. So it's easy because I just say, okay, like we did this behind the scenes. Alex, here's my Acuity link, schedule a time, and we meet and we just have this conversation. And this is actually like, you know, for like social distancing and stuff like that, like the podcast is a really great way to still be able to communicate with people, grow your brand, give people your valuable content. So podcasting, I mean, I just love the platform, but
Yeah.
You do need to have that set schedule. Like, what are you going to do 9 a.m. to 9:30, and then just build out the whole day.
Right. I couldn't agree more. And I think that for me, it's been so important. Like looking at you can't see it right now, but behind the camera here is my daily habits, just the things I do every single day. And they're on my calendar, but I leave them on a board as well to remember the things that are most important to me, that I'm saying, these are the things I need to prioritize every single day. And one of those, which actually is my third point, Marc, if you don't mind, if I'll run into that one, because it's really important.
Perfect.
This is always important, but I feel more important right now, which is to stop watching TV and playing video games.
Yeah.
You know, I don't mean you have to give them up completely, but it should be on your schedule as, okay, you know what, if I've done all of these things that I say are the most important things to me, then I can go do this. What I've realized with people always talk about like their passions, the thing they're passionate about, and their hobbies, you know, and many people will say, oh, my hobby is kind of just watching some stuff on Netflix, hanging out, chilling, or Hulu, whatever people are watching these days. And, you know, the definition of a habit is something, or I'm sorry, of a hobby is something that you just do at leisure whenever you can. And a passion is something that you do regularly all the time. Here's the deal. I find that most people have their ideas flipped. Their passion is actually to sit on the couch and do nothing, you know, to play a video game or to watch TV. And really their hobby is what they're claiming their passion is. So starting a side hustle, if they're only devoting 15, 20 minutes to it a day, real focused time, it's like, is that really what you're passionate about? Or are you passionate about sitting down and just relaxing, doing these things? And, you know, again, it's not all bad. Like I watch TV, but I've booked it in my calendar on Friday and Saturday night. That's it. My wife loves to watch movies with me. So it's either Friday or Saturday night, and that's it. If it's during the week, she knows those are my work nights. I'll go hang out with friends. I'll do all that stuff, but I'm not going to sit in front of a TV. And years ago, I had to sell my Xbox, man. I had to come to terms with it. It was time to sell it. You know, I think it was 7 years ago. I was like, I just can't anymore. I have places I want to go. I want to live my life at the fullest, and I have to get rid of these things. So my challenge to everyone is get off media, get off your phone, get off of TV, and then really sit down and focus, build that calendar, and then be very strategic with what you're going to do during this time, especially. But no matter when you're listening to this, this is always relevant information.
We have more great content coming up in this episode, but first we have a message from today's sponsor, Jobber. Jobber's award-winning software helps small home service businesses organize their entire operations, from scheduling jobs and managing their crews to invoicing customers and collecting payments. That way, you can spend more time on the services you're already great at. Job by job, business by business, Jobber is transforming the ways their customers deliver service. Start your free trial over at getjobber.com/breakthrough. All right, let's get right back into the episode. Yeah, that's where, you know, don't consume, create. And when it comes to a podcast like Breakthrough Success, because I kind of got it, I like it when you guys listen, and I appreciate everyone who listens and supports the show. I think if you listen to content like this, like, you've definitely, like, we're not done with the episode, but you've already gotten some stuff where you could take action on it in your life and see the changes. Like, that's the type of atmosphere I like to create with my content. That's why people like to listen to these types of episodes. If you are someone who plays video games, and that is something I gave up, but if you are someone who plays them, I mean, and you're passionate about it, make your Twitch channel.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way you should really approach it. I mean, video games, like, to a lot of people, it seems like some type of productivity killer, but you can flip it, turn it into a business, and add value with the commentary, because there's definitely a lot of different angles you can take when it comes to content creation. It's just viewing it in that right lens.
Yeah, it's being someone that's creating, like you're saying, not just a spectator of it. Because same
Yeah,
thing happened with TV. If you're
that's
someone who's
better.
actually has like a blog that you're writing reviews about movies, then you got to watch them. Like that's part of the job. But if you're just sitting there, just always taking in and never pouring out, I just feel like
Yeah.
it's a dangerous spot to be in. I mean, I really do.
Yeah, I think that's a better example because I do watch a lot of YouTube videos because I'm doing a lot more on YouTube to get in. Like I watch the videos, get an idea of what I can do as a creator rather than just like unconsciously watching the videos and just for entertainment value. It's also for like a what can I do from my standpoint as a creator. But when you have a goal, regardless of it's, to hit a certain number of YouTube subscribers, sell a certain number of books, the big thing is that you got to do day by day
Yep.
get you there. And I know you're talking about some of your key habits earlier. How do you make sure you get them all done? Like, do you have tiers? So like, these are the habits I have to do. And if I drop these, it's okay. Or are you getting them all done? How does that work?
Yeah. So in what I developed this years ago, I just call it my daily 3x7 framework. So it's daily, and then there's 3 categories. So it's my morning routine, my daily habits, and my evening routine. So that's the 3. And then the 7, I have 7 things in each of those. And those are the most important things. There might be more on the actual list, or, for the day, saying, okay, well, I also want to go to dinner with this person, do this, and this. But the most important thing is that in those 3 categories, I finish each of those 7 things. And I find that to be how that's how I run every day. And I don't always hit 100%. I mean, I don't think I've had a single month ever where I've gotten all, I guess it's 21 different things, or I've actually hit them all every day of the month. That hasn't ever happened, but I do my best to get through as many of them as possible. And the reason for that, again, is it adds more meaning to what I'm doing. So the things I have on there, for me, like prioritizing creativity, the first hour of my day, once I'm dressed and all that, and I've had my breakfast, I've done all that stuff, is I sit down and I prioritize creativity. I have 1 hour where I'm not checking email. My phone's not with me. Nothing is around me. I have 0 distractions. And that 1 hour, I am focused on creating something that I've predetermined, saying, you know what, this is what I'm doing tomorrow morning in my creativity hour, like when I'm actually prioritizing that time. And doing that has been, man, how it is. When you focus on something, what you can do in 1 hour is incredible. I can knock out something. I'm like, I can't believe I just did all this in 1 hour. And I do that every single day. And like I said, I'm not perfect at it, but that's like one of the main things. That's one of those daily habits. I'm saying I have to do this every single day. This is a must.
I mean, an hour a day on one thing goes really far. And
Mm-hmm.
with a daily video upload schedule, you just pick that 1 hour, you create at least 2 videos, maybe 3, and you don't have to do that too many times each week to do daily videos or to create a training course.
Yeah.
And it's just being intentional. Like, again, I mentioned videos because YouTube's just my focus right now. For you, it could be writing blog posts. It could be doing an interview like this. It's going to be different for each person, but know what you want to put into that first hour. Now, I know you mentioned creativity for that first hour, and you have 7 different things, 3 categories. There's some of those things as simple as like 10 minutes of exercise, brush teeth, or are they all like,
yeah, I mean, my morning routine, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. I get so psyched about this topic, man. So you have to cut me off at some point probably. But so, everyone, kind of going back to the morning routine earlier, everyone wants to know about like the morning routine. How do you absolutely just crush a morning routine? And what I've found is actually the success of your morning routine is determined by your evening routine. And your evening routine is determined by the success of your daily habits. So it all has to be built in. So for me, some of the things that I do for my daily habits are like no caffeine after 2 p.m. because I'm going to bed at 10 and caffeine stays in your system for 8 hours. So it's one of those things. And then, I'm saying, okay, well, I want my optimal sleep. So I'm not going to, one of my daily habits again is not to have caffeine after 2 p.m. because I want to fall asleep at 10 and be able to sleep really good because that's important to me. If I'm going to get up at 5:30, I got to be fresh if I'm going to jump right back into that creativity time. Another thing is not to eat 2 hours before bed. I find that giving my body that break allows me, doing that intermittent fasting allows me to sleep a lot deeper. I disconnect from all social media, all screens an hour before bed. So there's no screens or anything like that. I'm done with anything like that. It's more just relaxing, and that's when I'll do some yoga, some stretching, some light stuff like that, and then just kind of reflect on my day and just be thankful for what happened that day. Find the things that meant the most to me. Even if it was a bad day, you can always find something good. But I'm doing that. So that's kind of my daily habits that flow into that evening routine. And the morning comes real natural. And people think that I got to have some like elaborate morning routine now, right? I mean, everyone's like, okay, here it comes. Like Alex is going to just drop a bomb on us. I've tried everything, man, because I'm not like, yeah, I don't believe in like morning people, night people, whatever. Like you just have to be disciplined, right? But naturally waking up in the morning was not something I enjoyed doing. It took me forever to figure this out. I tried hot yoga in the morning, right when I woke up. I tried eating right when I woke up, tried not eating right when I woke up, tried ice. I did like an ice shower, like ice cold shower right when I got up, tried all these things. And then I figured it out. It's the evening routine that makes the difference. So now when I wake up in the morning, my alarm, the biggest trick that I have, I guess you could say, was keeping the alarm away from my bed. So I have to get out of bed. I'd flip the lights right on when I walk out of the room. And the next thing I do, which always catches people off guard, but I came this, I don't know why I had this realization, but I sit and stare at the mirror. I stand in front of the mirror and I smile real big, real goofy. And believe it or not, there's a lot of research behind this. Smiling will wake you up. If you actually smile, you show teeth, you even laugh a little bit, you will wake up. So my morning routine is just 7 things, which like you said, it's brush your teeth, it's smile, it's turn the lights, and then it's a little bit of stretching. That's my morning routine. It's nothing really to it. It's so simple, but I successfully do it almost every single day. Can't say every day, but almost every single day I do it successfully because of what I do the night before. And so that's the most important thing. I think that if you really want to live an optimal day, you've got to get up at a certain time and be disciplined right away. You got to be fresh. So it all goes back to those daily habits and that what you're doing the night before.
And notice how really easy it is to do all those things. I mean, we're not really talking about a big time commitment with that morning routine. I mean, It's just like you wake up, you look yourself in the mirror, you stretch, and that's pretty much your morning routine in a nutshell. Yeah. And the important thing about that, it's not about, how much is being done in that morning routine and productivity. It's the fact that he's already starting the day on the right foot. That's the key thing to get from setting those types of routines, because starting on the right foot, you move the next foot forward, you move the next foot forward, and you keep getting done the different things you want to get done. And Alex, I mean, I feel like people got a lot from this episode. I'd love if you are listening to this right now, share a big takeaway in the Facebook group, markcabrera.com/Facebook, which will be in the show notes. We're also going to throw in some links for Alex in the show notes. So Alex, where do you want us to go to learn more about you?
Yeah, I always make it real simple for people. So you can either go to creatingabrand.com. That's one way to do it. Or you can text the word breakthrough to my phone number, which is 1-904-299-8992. So breakthrough to 1-904-299-8992. And I'll text you back with a link to my course, which is the one that we're really talking about today a lot of here. So Daily 3x7, Unleashing Your Full Potential. But also I'll include, because Marc, I'm a huge fan of yours, so I want to include something for free, of course. I have 6 courses that I'm going to offer completely for free to your audience. So if they just go to creatingabrand.com or text me at that number, I'll send all that to them for free. But yeah, that's really it. I mean, I just want to add value. That's ultimately what I seek to be. If I could end with one thing, Marc, it's that I never want to be a person of profit. I want to be a person of value. What that means for me is I'm not chasing money or anything like that. I'm chasing a way to help other people live their optimal life. What I'm best at, Marc, you're a great content creator. I don't know how you crush 3 podcasts and some are daily. Blows my mind. What I'm good at is helping people wake up and live a life of intentionality. And that's where I want to add that value. So I'm just here to add any value I possibly can. So Marc, thanks again. And the audience, thanks for listening today. I really appreciate it.
Alex, it was certainly a pleasure to have you on Breakthrough Success. Thank you for coming on, and thank you guys so much for listening. I greatly appreciate it. I know you've got so many other podcasts you can choose. Thank you for choosing mine. Also, make sure you choose Alex's as well, which will be in the show notes. This episode of the Breakthrough Success Podcast was brought to you by Jobber. Jobber is your business's command center. The easy-to-use app powers your sales, operations, and customer service all in one place. Start a free trial or sign up today to receive 20% off your first 6 months. Find out more at getjobber.com/breakthrough.